Hello fellow Shadows, welcome back to another video, and in this video I want to talk about you can be a fan of something, like a fan of a franchise, or a movie, or a TV show, or a YouTube creator, or any type of content creator on any social platform, but you don't have to exactly love all the content per se. That it is okay for you to be a fan of something but not be but not like fan of a like content like with all the categories I just said, but not exactly be a fan of everything that comes out of it. Like I'll take before I get into the reason why I'm making this video, I'll give you some examples. As you guys know, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my passion. It's I got into it since I like officially became a Star Wars fan when I was 11. I've watched the 6 Star Wars movies a lot, and the Clone Wars movie. When it came out, I saw Clone Wars in theaters. I saw the series, and I loved it. I loved the watching the 7 movies plus Clone Wars series. I had some issues with like the prequels, the original trilogy maybe, and the uh, and the Clone Wars. I mean in general, because when I first saw like A New Hope, I was saying, well, the Jedi has all these fancy combat skills. Like they swing their lightsabers around and fight when they use their lightsabers to fight. But but then when we saw Obi-Wan fighting Anakin, or Obi-Wan fighting Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader on the Death Star, we just go doo 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 doo. Not like no fancy tricks. And that was like as a kid, when I first got into it, that was one of my complaints about the movie. And as I got older, I kind of understood it more because it's been 20 years since Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, so maybe it's an age thing, which is why we don't see Obi-Wan using all those Jedi tricks that we saw him using in like the Battle of Geonosis, him fighting Anakin on Mustafar, when he fought uh, uh, General Grievous on Utapau. We didn't, which is why we don't see Obi-Wan using as many tricks as we like in the like as in on his duel with Vader on the Death Star, as we saw him doing on uh in the Clone Wars series. Both Clone Wars series, I want to add. And so it's an age thing. So I kind of came into terms of as I got older, I understood more. One complaint I will still have about Star Wars with the prequels is an Attack of the Clones. With like 90% of Padme and Anakin's scenes were cringy, that weren't a sense of danger until like Padme and Anakin went to Tatooine. Like when they were on Naboo, I'm talking about their scenes on Naboo. I didn't feel any sense of danger. It felt like more of a vacation, and I feel like if someone tried to assassinate someone, there would be more attempts, and then hey, we're gonna go to my home planet where we're gonna have a vacation until you, my Jedi protector, gets nightmares about your mother dying, and we go to your home world to save her. That that's will always be one of my biggest complaints about the prequels. And don't get me wrong, I do like the prequels, but I'm not gonna say that they're perfect. I love the Star Wars movies. I loved the prequels. I mean, I liked the prequels. The original trilogy was the best. I do like Rogue One. I did enjoy Clone Wars movie, and I do love the series that followed after the movie. I did enjoy Rebels. I wasn't exactly a fan of all the episodes of Rebels, but I did enjoy Rebels as a whole. I think as a whole, Rebels was a good show. Solo was an enjoyable movie, not one of the best Star Wars movies. Could have had L3 out of the movie entirely because she was annoying. Resistance, Star Wars Resistance, I'm sorry if this offends any of you, but in my opinion, I find that show to be trash. And the sequel trilogy, or the Disney sequel trilogy, as much as I like The Force Awakens, as a whole, it was Like, The Last Jedi could have been better, way better. And The Rise of Skywalker could have been better, too. What else do I like? The Ninja Turtle movies. I like the very first Ninja Turtle movie. I like the second Ninja Turtle movie, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Secret of the Ooze. I like the third one when they go back in time. I like TMNT that came like the movie TMNT, the CGI one that came out in 2007. And I did enjoy the Michael Bay version of Ninja Turtles, where Stephen Amell in the sequel was Casey Jones. I haven't gotten the chance to watch Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And speaking of Batman, but before I go to Batman, I love those 5 Ninja Turtle movies, or 4 Ninja Turtle movies that I've seen. Oh yeah, and Turtles Forever. Turtles Forever is the weakest one out of the 5 or 6 Ninja Turtle movies that I've seen. In my opinion. Partially because they butchered the 1980s Turtles. But I love the Ninja Turtles. On my own channel, my personal channel is Phil TMNT. The TMNT part is supposed to be a nod to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I like their content. I mean, I like their, I love those, most of the movies. I did enjoy Turtles Forever, but didn't like everything that happened in the Turtles Forever. I do like the 1980s Turtles. The ones that I've seen. I like the 2003 version Turtles. The weakest link in the 2003 Turtles, and for me, was Fast Forward. But they kind of rescued the series with the Back to the Sewers. I like the 2012 version Turtles. And I've seen a few episodes of Rise of the Ninja Turtles. That's so, I'm not into that show. And I watched Ninja Turtles Next Mutation show, and that's crap. I am a big fan of the MCU. Watch every single MCU movie in theaters. I'm hoping I'll be able to see Black Widow in theaters. The weakest movie, in my opinion, of the MCU is Captain Marvel. My personal favorite is in between 2. Actually 3. Black Panther. Actually, no, 4 technically. It's between 5. Black Panther. Alright, 6. Black Panther, Captain America Civil War, and the 4 Avengers films. Those are my personal favorites. Not exactly in that order, but those are my favorites in the MCU. My favorite Batman movies happens to be the Dark Knight trilogy. The other Batman movies are pretty decent, but I feel like the Dark Knight trilogy are and for me, the best adaptation of Batman in terms of movies. The Arkham games I'm a big fan of. The weakest link is Arkham Origins. If you want to talk about multiplayer, because that was the only one in the Arkham series that had multiplayer. But it was a huge letdown because it kept on crashing, and it crashed my place, freeze on me, and crashed. It rebooted my PlayStation 3 twice. So I said after that, I said, I'm not playing the multiplayer anymore. That was the main reason why I wanted to play Batman Arkham Origins for the multiplayer. But if you're talking about like in terms of gameplay or in terms of like fights, cause I feel like in terms of fights, Arkham Knight is the weakest link. Because like with the whole Deathstroke battle, he's the world's greatest assassin. Yeah, he used tanks, and that's how you beat him in Arkham Knight. It should have been like Arkham Origins where you fought him face to face, like hand to hand. It would have been okay with like tank battle, but then switch it up to fist to fist. Same with Arkham Knight. And I do believe that the Arkham Knight should have been Damian Wayne. Besides, spoiler alert, Jason Todd. But that's just me. Kept Jason Todd as the Red Hood and have Arkham Knight be a totally different character. And it would make sense to have Damian Wayne being Arkham Knight. Now, and the Arrowverse. One more example. The Arrowverse. Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and Batwoman. I do enjoy the Arrowverse. It's under the DC Comics line. My personal favorite show out of those like 5 shows, soon to be 6 when Stargirl gets here, is Arrow. Followed closely by The Flash. Supergirl and The Legends of Tomorrow are tied for me. Even though I still enjoy Batwoman, that's like the weakest link in my opinion. But like I said, I do enjoy some like some of the things that Batwoman has had in the series so far. My favorite character in Batwoman is Beth. Not Alice, but Beth. If you guys watch the show, then you guys will know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know, Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is my personal favorite Arrowverse crossover ever. One of the things from like Crisis on Infinite Earths, like side effects for Batwoman, was it brought in Beth for Batwoman, like from a different Earth. Like there are different dimensions, and the Beth that I'm talking about was like the Beth that what if Batwoman saved her sister, then Alice wouldn't have existed and Beth would still became sane and Alice wouldn't have been created. Beth, and then in the like 2 episodes later, after introducing that, they killed off Beth, kept the insane version of her alive, and I was like, what? Why? But I'm bringing in all those examples because there are pros and cons to each thing that's like for everything that's I'm a fan of. I was watching John Campia's stream, which I shall put in the pinned comments below after this is done uploading. I was watching John Campia's stream, recent stream, as by the time I'm making this video, and this person who was a huge Ninja Turtle fan was saying, Ninja Turtles is better than the MCU. Ninja Turtles is better than Batman. They probably would have said Ninja Turtles is better than Star Wars. I would have agreed if they were talking about the Disney Star Wars, if they brought that up. Ninja Turtles is better than Transformers. I had to go in there saying, I'm a big Ninja Turtle fan too. Oh, and I was in his stream as my Phil TMNT account, not as Scatter Shadows. But I was telling him, I'm a big fan of Ninja Turtles. There's a lot of great things in the Ninja Turtles, but there's a lot of flaws in there too. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles are better in some franchises. Like one example is The Last Airbender. I'm not exactly talking about the show. If I'm going to stick with the movies in this one. The Ninja Turtle movies that I've seen is better than the Last Airbender movie. It's the Ninja Turtles is better than the Disney Star Wars movies. The sequel trilogy and Solo. I'm not counting Rogue One because that actually felt like Star Wars to me. the Ninja Turtles movies and I guess series, except for like Next Mutation and and uh, and the Rise of the Ninja Turtles, is better than Captain Marvel, in my opinion. Captain Marvel being my least favorite MCU movie. So, and I was telling him that I, yeah, Ninja Turtles is greater than some franchises, but not, but there are some things that are greater than the Ninja Turtles, in my opinion. Like the Dark Knight trilogy, debatably is better than potentially the original Ninja Turtle trilogy. Potentially, depends on who you ask. The original the original Ninja Turtle movies is definitely better than the the original trilogy of like the Ninja Turtles. It's better than the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Potentially a bit better than. It's debatably better than the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Regardless, compare the original Ninja Turtle movies, which is like one Ninja Turtles the original movie, Secret of the Ooze and Ninja Turtle 3, to the original Star Wars trilogy, then I believe that the original Star Wars trilogy will give the original Ninja Turtle movie trilogy run for its money. But I was telling this guy, just because you're a big fan of the Ninja Turtles, or just because you dislike like Marvel and DC because they were bashing Marvel and DC comics, doesn't mean that you doesn't mean that all Ninja Turtles are better than all of Marvel, like all the content that Marvel came out, and all the content that comics put out. If just cause, and same could be said about any YouTuber, like this channel for example, and my own channel. You guys might like a lot of the content, or loathe a lot of the content that this channel and my channel dished out, but that I'm perfectly I'm aware that not all of you will like all the content that is released on this channel, and I'm okay with that. And I'm perfectly okay with you guys calling yourselves fans of Scattered Shadows, but not a fan to everything that the channel has done. Like in terms of the topics we covered, or our viewpoints on the topics that we covered. Which I'm still planning on getting more people to make more content regularly too on this channel. And we do have a Facebook page as well, so if you guys want to potentially make content for our channel, please message us on Facebook and we'll try to get back to you ASAP. But I'm a big fan of Geeks and Gamers. That's one of the many YouTube channels I'm a big fan of. Geeks and Gamers, and every YouTuber that's associated with Geeks and Gamers, which is a lot. I'm a fan of Geeks and Gamers. Doesn't mean that I am a fan of like everything that they say or the content they pull out per se, but I'm a big fan of Geeks and Gamers. What else? Black Nerd Comedy, John Campia, Charlie Blossom, Catfishing. I'm trying to think of other YouTubers. Katie Wilson. I already said John Campia. Collider News. Or AMC, whatever they decide calling themselves nowadays. Disney in general. But Disney's not YouTube, but still Disney in general. I like a lot of their content, but not love everything. But same with these YouTubers that I mentioned. I might be a big fan of these YouTubers that I mentioned, but I don't exactly. I might disagree with them on something. I might not be exactly a fan of their stance on a subject. And that's okay. I still am a fan. And as a fan, I know it's okay to not exactly like everything that content creator does. And that was my point of when this person was saying, "Oh, Ninja Turtles is the best." Well, Power Rangers is good too. They didn't bash the Power Rangers, but they pretty much bashed every other franchise. Transformers, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and a few other things. And I had to call them out. I actually called them out. And yeah, like one person said in the stream, they probably were trolling. Probably. But with that said, I'm gonna end this video because it's already 20 minutes long. And I think I already made my point pretty clear that you can be a fan of something or someone, but not exactly be a fan on that person or company's content or that person's stance in something. Like, what's one actor I'm a big fan of? Stephen Amell, who is the Green Arrow of the Arrowverse, and who is Casey Jones in the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. I like him as an actor. I think he's a really cool dude. If I had enough money, I would have met him at C2E2 this year. That said, I doubt that I would agree with everything that he says. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Stephen Amell. But do I have to agree with Stephen Amell on everything? No. And that's the beauty. We all have our own opinions. We gotta learn to respect each other's opinions, not verbally attack each other. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the 22 minutes of me ranting about this whole subject. What do you guys think about this subject? Leave a comment down below. Be kind to one another. I love you all and have a wonderful day. And since I did bring up Star Wars, for you Star Wars nerds, you fellow Star Wars nerds, because I'm a Star Wars nerd too, may the Force be with I can't speak straight today, but may the Force be with us all. And have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another, and I love you all. And talk to you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first.